Hi, my name is Daniel, and this is my wife Teresa, my amazing wife Teresa, and we are excited to invite you to come be a part of Woodlands Church's first preview service.
This is our old house that we lived in when we started the church. We spent so many hours and nights and days together trying to work out the practical stuff and the visionary stuff. We built a ton of community. We got to know each other a lot more. Personally, I spent hours and hours praying. Dan and the kids, I'm sure too, and it was just the beginning of something, and it all started in our house, in our home, and we committed to keep it warm and inviting, and it was really special because we were on a mission with our kids too. We were in it together. We got to spend so much time with leaders, with people coming and going and having meals together, having just planning meetings together. And so we didn't do everything perfect, but it was amazing to have such community and closeness being formed inside of those walls.
So this is the second place that we really began to meet together. We had space here. This is called the Glory Barn. Tom and Pat, man and woman of God, they opened up their home to us. We needed a place a little bit bigger to see God together. We were having weekly prayer and worship nights, and it was such an answer to prayer where we got to just develop and build history with God together, start building a team together here, and really seeking God on what does this next journey look like. Man, so many moments in God's presence here, so many words shared, and what a blessing and answer to prayer it was to be here.
We met in here and invited people to come for an interest meeting. We could share the heart of what we were thinking for Woodland Church. It was very early on. People just showed up. There were tables out, there were kids, there were people we didn't even know and people we knew that we didn't expect to come. And so it was really exciting that people just felt what God was doing. It was so beautiful, and we worshiped together. We got to talk, we got to answer some questions. I remember coming out of here, it was right before the sun went down, and there was a rainbow right out here in the sky, and it was our very first official Woodland Church event, and it was beautiful and awesome, and we were just blown away by the response.
Happy birthday, Woodland Church. Woo!
This was kind of the first place that we really could call like home in a way. At first we were set up in teardown, but essentially we actually outgrew that space, but then we went upstairs and we leased another space in the building. And so that kind of became like where we put our stake in the ground for like the first time this was actually like our space. So when you're a church, there are building codes that you have to adhere to. And essentially the city of Lacey was unsure that we would be able to meet these specific building codes because we're a church. And this was an office building. The miraculous thing was 10 years before we even needed that office space, they did the extra work to basically put the building completely up to code for a church, which is very unheard of in like the realm of office spaces. So that was even just a miracle at the beginning. Here's where we had our first conferences, we had our first baptisms, but really this season for us was just a lot of breaking down of like old mindsets, old structures, old models, and God just reshaping what He wanted His church to look like, what He wanted Woodland to look like. And so this was just a beautiful season of building community and intimacy with God.
This place has a lot of significance and importance to us as we met here, Ebony and Ivory, every Sunday for just over a year. And what an amazing blessing this place was. It kind of came at a time where we needed to find something relatively quickly, and Kenan and Mackenzie over at Ebony and Ivory said, "We got you," and helped us to make this place our home for a season. So many great memories, moments with the Lord, great worship moments here. One of my favorite songs that we sing as a church, the So Much to Be Grateful For, really came from right here as Andrew was leading us just in prayer and worship time. And so thankful for this space, so thankful all that God did in this time and what it signifies and is for us as a body, as a family.
This is our fifth location we've met in, Pleasant Glade Elementary. As we're recording this is our last Sunday here. 5 is a powerful number in Scripture. It's the number of grace, and man, we've experienced that here. We've experienced growth. We've experienced God's presence together. I mean, deliverance, healing, fellowship, and community, financial breakthrough. Man, as we've been sowing into this new season, we've experienced incredible breakthrough. What a joy it's been to meet here. What a joy it's been to grow in this place together with you. I'm just so excited for what God has for us in the future. We've been here a year and a half, and man, we're stepping into something really special together.
I'm so thankful for every place that we've been, from Forza to the Farm Bureau, downstairs and upstairs, to Ebony and Ivory, to Pleasant Glade Elementary. All of it has been so special. But obviously this is pretty exciting that we are in our home. This is not a space that we're using at certain times. We're not, borrowing someone else's, that this is Woodlands' home. And so this is a big deal. This is an exciting season, an exciting place. And honestly, just every day that I've been coming in, getting things ready, and still feels pretty surreal to me. But you know, I really feel like it's appropriate, the timing of how all of this is aligned, that we're going into our 7th year, which is so exciting. But when you look in the Old Testament, the 7th year, the 7th day in early church, in the Jewish calendar, had such significance. One of my favorite things about it is it was the year of trusting in God. Not rest in the sense of like, who cares what happens, but while I'm not working, God's still working. When I think about this word Sabbath or this word rest, I think of King David. God says, you can't build the tabernacle. It's not for you. And David said, okay, that's fine. I'll just rest and trust you. But what I am going to do is I'm going to get all the materials that are needed for that tabernacle so that when my son builds it, everything's ready to go day one. It's a willingness to say yes. It's a willingness to say, okay, God is working when I'm not able to do it. God is able to do the impossible where I just bring what it is that I know. And one of the pictures that I love that you see in the Bible for that number 7 is a posture that's attached to it. It's a posture of bowing. I'm not king, he's king. I'm not God, he's God. I'm his, I'm a son, I'm loved, I'm a part of this amazing family, but the power, the promise, the ability to do it is in his hands. It's not a season of apathy, it's not a season of do nothing, but it's a season of rest in the strength of God's hand. And so I'm excited to walk into this season, this new place, this new thing together, where God's hands are shown strong, God's provision is shown full, and we get to be a part of it.